Okay. Welcome, everybody out there. How's everybody doing? I hope everyone's having a fantastic Monday. I hope everyone had an incredible weekend. I know today's a holiday, so some of us are not dialing and on the phone. So, really a good opportunity to get into this with us and learn a little bit. And I hope that from this webinar that you guys have some really good takeaway and value that you guys can actually go implement into your businesses like right now, right? That's the goal of all the webinars that I do, that Ashley does. And so we want to welcome everybody. And I see there's so many people here, Ashley.
I mean, there's a lot of people.
And
everyone's staying
people. Yeah, we're 140 people, 141 people. Fantastic.
Yes.
I love it.
Love it.
Love seeing so many of you guys out there. Looks like there's people from everywhere, right? Kansas. I see a lot of Texas. Ashley's in Texas herself.
Over here, y'all.
Fantastic.
Yeah. I do. Can everyone, like, real quick though, can you drop in the chat, how long have you been in the industry? I'm genuinely curious. Are you like super new agent? Have you been here a couple of years? Please comment so we kind of have an idea. Definitely want to make sure that we speak to those individuals. If there's like a lot of y'all that are new or more seasoned, 4 years, very nice. Hola, Rafael, 10 years, very nice. Super new. Okay, 5 years. Okay, so we got kind of a blend, not yet in the industry. Okay, so some people got in here and you're not even in the industry. So you're going to be able to get a good bird's eye view of what it's all about. And a lot of people are here and have been here for a while. So I think you guys are going to learn a lot of good nuggets. Make sure you have your notes because we're going to kind of give you an overview of what it takes to run a profitable business.
Absolutely. So yeah, amazing. It's awesome to see so many new people, but also like people that have been, a couple people like selling ACA, Medicare, and now kind of making a transition or introducing a new line of insurance into your business, which is fantastic. Robbie Miller, 27 years. That is Ed, 22 years. You guys are absolute pros in here. So honored and grateful that you guys are giving us a little bit of time to spend with you guys. So let's get this thing started. I was just giving a couple minutes to let some people come in. Keep in mind, guys, no sound or video. Can everybody hear us okay? I'm sure you guys are answering the question, so I'm sure everybody can hear us. Guys, if you cannot hear us, it's going to be the settings on your side. So make sure that you go into your settings and your sound is on. I got a couple people, Jerry, no sound. Everybody else can hear us. So if other people can hear us, but specifically some can't, that's going to be sound settings on your end, guys. Okay, so just go ahead and check that, and let's get this thing going. So welcome once again. My name is Oscar Gonzalez, and I have with me the one and only Ashley Mullinnix. And we are super excited here, guys, to spend a little bit of time with you today. What we're going to cover, we're going to talk about the systems that we have used, that Ashley uses, not just to become a better salesperson, but to organize your business, right? We're going to talk about the process. What are the things that you need to have to really be successful in final expense? Because obviously, look, presentation is one piece, right? But we need to know what carriers we need to use. We need to know what's a good e-app for telesales, right? We need to know systems, right? What CRM should I use? We need to know leads, obviously, and that's something that I do quite a bit of, being part of a lead generation company that I run as well. So we're going to try to give you guys as much of all these things. We're going to go through, again, the things that Ashley herself used, and I'm going to let her introduce herself first, give you guys a little story about where she is, where she comes from, and where she's going, and then I'll give you guys a little intro on myself. So Ashley, take it away.
Yeah. So first and foremost, thank you guys so much for popping in here. So I have been in the life insurance space only doing final expense, going into my second year now. I was not searching for life insurance, as I know many people were not looking for life insurance. It's one of those things that just kind of finds you. I was a stay-at-home mom, and essentially my goal was to find something I could do from home that gave me the flexibility to be there for my kids, right? But also I needed to pay off some debt. Like that was kind of the do something at home, pay off debt. Well, when I put my resume out there on the internet, I had gotten pitched for this thing called Final Expense. I found myself in a Zoom room with like 20 different individuals. And then I was in a one-on-one. Then I got my license. It was a rocky journey. Went to 5 different IMOs. Within 5 different IMOs, I went into debt, struggled to figure out leads, and eventually found Oscar. And when I was able to tap into the leads and the systems that worked, that's when I started to soar. I was able at a part-time capacity to earn anywhere from 20 to 30K a month in business. And that's what we want to talk to you about today, right? Is those systems that it took me 5 different IMOs to figure out. We want you to know that system. And that's why we're here kind of talking to you today.
Yeah. Yeah. And look, guys, I think it's so important, right? This journey, right? Which is many of you that are out there right now are either in this journey, right? Obviously, you guys that have been in the business for many, many years, it might not apply anymore, but in many ways it might, right? But the idea is that we all go through this. I think no matter what industry you're in, you have a ramp up period where you don't know anything about the industry. You're trying to find support. You're trying to find guidance. And it's really hard, right? Because just like in every other industry, there's people pulling you a million different directions in a million different ways. And ultimately in business, guys, you don't know what truly works for you until you kind of make some mistakes and go through and fall a couple times and get up. And you get to this point in this and in many business ventures where you either find your way, right? Or you continue really spending money looking for that, chasing it, going from thing to thing, not really getting any closer to your goals or the things that you thought initially when you came into this business were going to be so easy, right? Which they make it that way. It's like, oh, it's easy. You can make 6 figures in this business like in 30 days. And that's just not true, right? That's not true in any sustainable business that provides longevity. There's a ramp up period. There's a period of trial and error. There's a period of learning. And so what we do, what I like to do is how can we take the mistakes, right? And the lessons that we have learned, that Ashley has learned, and help agents not make those same mistakes, right? We've been through it. Ashley's been through it. I've been through it myself. I'll give you a little backstory on me. So I've been in insurance for about 3 years solid. Prior to insurance, I spent about 10 years building an e-com company that I started in 2012. I sold it in 2020. It was a fantastic company that I started with a friend of mine, and it blew up. We started in a closet, basically, at a friend's office, and grew to $7 million within a couple of years, and we were off to the races. That's where I learned marketing, right? That's where I learned how to target people on social media, how to speak to a consumer to get them to buy a product. And that's what I then took and moved into insurance. And I took the same concepts, right? The same things that I learned in selling products, and I applied it to lead generation. Okay. Prior to that, I have just been a salesperson, guys. I've been on the phone selling in one way, shape, or form since about 15 or 16 years old. My very first sales job was at a call center at a stock brokerage firm sometime in the very, very early 2000s. So I just kind of put my age out there. And guys, this was a place, and I tell this story because people always get a chuckle out of it, but they would tape the handset to my hand and to other people's hands. And guys, we couldn't go to lunch until we hit 200 dials, 200 or 300 dials every single day. That was my introduction to sales as a young guy. And from there, I just loved it, and I excelled at it very quickly. And between then and the time I got into e-com, I ran a very successful mortgage company, had over 100 agents under me. So sales is at my core what I love to do. I love training. I love teaching. So now, fast forward to 3 years ago, I was bought out of this company, and I decided, well, what am I going to do now, right? I went into insurance, with the same thought that everyone has. Wow, what a great opportunity that this could be to provide for my family. And I went head first. And just like everybody in here, went through my challenges, had to figure things out. I had a little bit more of help because I went in a little bit differently, right? I actually went and worked for a friend of mine who owned an agency, and I became his media buyer. I helped them like generate leads, and then I decided to go on my own. So I had a little bit of a head start. But as soon as I started generating leads for myself, guys, I realized quickly how many agents were out there that really needed help. Number one, with lead generation, which we're going to talk about a little bit further down, right? But in that world, seeing how many agents were coming to me, and I've always been someone since I started in this business that I created a presence online. And so I've been very, very vocal and have been very transparent of my journey. And in that journey, many agents started coming and saying, hey, how are you generating leads on TikTok? How are you doing what you're doing? And I quickly identified the opportunity that lied, which was, how do we create something to help agents be fully transparent, give them exactly what they need, stop sugarcoating the stuff that's out there, which is what I saw. And here we are today, right? So fast forward, 3 years have gone by. I've now helped over 400 agents, guys, go through lead generation programs. We helped, where a lot of you came from, which is David Duford, a great partner and friend of mine, as well as Ashley's. I helped David build his entire free lead program that he now runs and that you guys see out there, right? I was the guy behind the lead generation component, building his CRM and all these pieces that now have put him in a place with his experience and everything that he has to be able to now run the free lead program, which I think he does over 1.2, 1.3 million a month right now, guys. So that's kind of our backdrop. That's our story. In that, Ashley came and we met, right? We met last year, sometime I think in maybe like February, March, or so, I don't know, sometime early last year. I was introduced to Ashley, and as soon as her and I talked, we just clicked, right? I saw her motivation. I saw her story like drove me, because it is so common out there where agents, like, they go to 3-4 different IMOs. They're promised one thing, something else is delivered. There's no system. There's nothing for them to tap into to get the real support that they need to truly be successful. And so in that moment when her and I met, I just helped her with leads, right? And she went from not being able to get that consistency in the leads that were coming in or that she was buying to then have really great months back to back to back to back to back. And Ashley, we're like, right now, what's an average month? I think you said it was like 20, 30,000 is your average kind of deal that you write.
Yeah, average range is 20 to 30. And I only work from I'll start dialing about 8:30 in the morning and I'll stop 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon. But the reason, and here's what I want to impress upon everyone, because I do talk to a lot of agents. And if you follow me on YouTube, you know my story. A lot of agents will come to me thinking that you can just right out the gate do this at a part-time capacity. I do want a disclaimer. It took me, it was a journey for me to get to the place where I could do things at a part-time capacity. It's not just, having the good presentation, which that is a feat of itself. Being able to have the right tone, follow your script, wash, rinse, and repeat what you do on the phones and track your progress. It comes down to the systems. So once I got a really good skill set on the phones, I then was on a hunt for the systems, which was the CRM. That was the booking bot. That was, how do I dial? What am I using for my dialer? How do I avoid being spam? How do I find the people top of mind? Those are your systems for like your standard operating procedure. Once I knew I was good on the phones and that I had the system, the thing that I was lacking, which is the lifeline of your business, is the lead flow. And when you do not have your leads dialed in and you don't have your presentation dialed in and you don't have your systems dialed in, if those things are not consistent, then you have no business. Like it will crumble. You need all 3 legs for that table to stand. So once I was introduced to Oscar via David Duford, he recommended me talk to you. It really did change how I functioned. In the world of life insurance, you want to operate from a place of abundance, not scarcity. So let me ask you, just everyone in the chat, let me know now with leads. Say, do you have a good lead source or no lead source? You got a good lead source or no lead source? Where are you guys at with leads right now? I'm just genuinely curious because, again, lifeline, blood. I mean, I want to hone in on the lead aspect real quick. 15 minutes and no.
Fantastic. Yeah, look, I think while we're getting some of these answered, 15 minutes and no information so far. Hey, welcome to the program, guys. Hey, look, this is our system here. This is how we're kind of doing it. Look, here's something really important that you just said, Ashley, right? Focusing on the sales, the systems, the leads, right? Mm-hmm. Without these three components, things are not going to run well, right? Without being good at sales, being good at presentation, what you do on the phones every time that you get an opportunity, right? Doesn't matter how many leads you're getting. If you don't have a system of selling, if you are not improving, if somebody's not helping you improve, coaching you, then it's going to be very difficult for you to get to where you want to get to, right? So number one is that the pitch and the presentation, right, guys? And so as folks are answering here and talking about lead sources and all those things, that's the first thing that I actually want to talk about a little bit is the sales, right? In sales, guys, when you come in, and especially those of you that have never done sales before, right? Because if you've done sales, then you understand these concepts that are very, very important, which is when you get someone on the phone, especially in final expense, the first thing that you guys should be focusing on, guys, and we're going to give you some of these nuggets, are pain points and discovery, right? Before you can talk about price with someone, before you can get into what product you have to offer them, right? What type of plan, how much coverage, what carrier, these are secondary things to the number one thing when you get on the call with someone, which is discovery, right? And a lot of agents out there don't spend enough time in this phase of discovery, right? Understanding why you're on the phone with the person that you're with, right? Why are they now choosing to get information about protecting their family? Most of these folks are over the age of 50, right? Over the age of 60. So I would want to know why they are at this point in their life and they have not yet protected their family, right? Because as we think about it, for those of us that are out there that have kids, nothing is more important than protecting our children and our family in the event something happening. So it's always a really good question, like, well, you filled out this lead form. What drove you to fill it out, right? Well, I just saw it online and it was just an ad that came through. That makes sense. But specifically, like, why now? Why not a year ago? Why not a year from now? Like, why now? What's happened in your life recently that perhaps you're now thinking about, gosh, I haven't done this. I haven't taken care of this. And I'm getting to an age where I need to do this, right? And so talking about this with folks, getting discovery, understanding the people's pain points is so important, guys. It is the foundation to every sale that you will ever do. And in final expense, it's even more important, guys, because they don't need insurance, right? Like, essentially, they could not take care of this. And most people that we speak to, they haven't, right? They're 50, they're 60, they're 65, and they haven't. Why do some of these people now choose to do it? Somebody died in their family recently, right? They lost a loved one. Maybe they went through a health scare, a heart attack, cancer, all these things that all of a sudden they go, oh my God, what am I doing? Why haven't I gotten a burial plan set up for my family yet? So how important would it be for you to know before you get into prices and giving someone plans and options, how important would it be for you to find out if someone actually had a major loss in their family or if they had a major health scare recently that drove them to be on the phone with you? Would that be something, you guys there listening to this, would that be an important piece of information that you would want to find out before moving into prices and plans? Give me a yes or no out there, guys, right? And that is at the root what sales is about, particularly in final expense. If you do not spend the proper time in discovery, understanding why someone hasn't protected their family, and painting the picture, guys, that of what's going to happen if they don't take action, right? What would it look like if you died tomorrow of a heart attack and your family is now around you mourning, crying, and in addition to losing you, they now have to come up with $10,000, $15,000 in a matter of 48 hours. How would your daughter do it? How would your son do it?
And to add to that real quick, I think that's where a lot of agents drop the ball in your presentation. Just to let you guys know, a couple of you have asked for a script. I just dropped a link to my script. My script is wash, rinse, and repeat. You can find the link on my YouTube channel as well. But literally, my script covers everything that Oscar's talking about. You go through the discovery, you find a need, you find a pain. But that's where a lot of agents struggle. You have to get very comfortable with asking the uncomfortable questions in a presentation. That is at its core in final expense where this sale is made. It is not just a numbers game, right? It's not like, oh, well, if I can afford it, I'm going to get it. Well, a lot of times they say that. That's their sales resistance coming up. The true sale happens when you can uncover a need. What is their pain? And when you ask certain questions and kind of peel back the onion and you get an understanding of their situation, where they're at, because you have to think about how that lead got to you. That is the best way to kind of navigate the waters, right? They did not wake up in the morning. They were not looking for final expense coverage, but they were scrolling on Facebook and they saw your ad and something triggered in them to think, oh, this is important to me. And they're going to click on it. First off, speed to lead is important. If we're talking about systems, within 5 minutes, you need to call that lead that came in, okay? Because they're going to keep scrolling. But once you get them on the phone, having that system, that flow, that script, that is wash, rinse, and repeat is so important. Because when someone tells you, well, I don't know, I was just, it's down to the price, it's down to this. There was something that they were thinking about that was a pain to them. That's why they clicked on it. They didn't click on it because they're like, ooh, I want to buy this thing. No, they clicked on it because they were thinking about their grandbaby. They were thinking about their child. They were thinking about their family who has no money. They were thinking about the fact that they're paying $500 a month now because they just had to bury their husband. Like there's something there. And the goal of your script is to get that out of them. If you do not get that out of them, there is no sale. And if you can move someone through a presentation without getting paid and you pitch numbers and you sell off of numbers, then guess what? Your persistency will be garbage. You will get chargebacks. They will fall off the books because the second money gets tight, there's no emotional connection to what they purchased. And they will cancel their coverage every time so that they can go get their granddaughter an extra tank of gas or, help, sometimes they get car trouble, things happen. And wouldn't it be nice to have your client call you? Because I get this all the time. Ashley, I just had to help put tires on my grandson's car. I cannot pay my premium this month. Can I set up a double payment for next month? Can I do half a payment now? They call you and they want to know how to resolve the issue so they don't lose the policy because you did your job as the agent and you got pain out of them. So please get the script and read through it.
Now, guys, here's interesting thought, right? So when we talk about sales, right? For me and even for Ashley, right? It's ingrained in us, the pitch, the presentation, how to do these things, right? How to take someone, step one, discovery, right? Asking the right questions, figuring out why the person hasn't taken the action to protect their family, and painting the picture, right? Of, again, like I said before, what does it look like if you do nothing, you die tomorrow, and your family now has to financially come up with this money, and then connecting that person, right? Filling the gap of solution. That feels easy to me because I've been doing it my entire life in some way, shape, or form. That feels easy to Ashley because she does it every day and she's been doing it for several years. But there's a lot of you out there that right now are going, but how do I do that, right? Like, how do I get into discovery? How do I ask these questions? What is the tone that I need to have? How do I not get nervous, right? And some of you guys that are brand new out there, that's what happens, right? You call a lead and you go, hello, Mr. Jones, this is Oscar from ABC Insurance. And the deal's gone, right? And so how you do that, how you become excellent great at delivering a presentation, at breaking down someone's pain points and then converting them into a sale is by two things, guys. Number one, having the leads to be able to practice, right? To be able to get it out, because there is no other way to get better than to take shots, right? And I always will use the analogy of sports. I'm a sports guy. And it's any major sports figure, any professional athlete in any sport in the world, right? And I always use Tiger Woods because as a kid, as a younger guy, that's someone that I followed greatly, right? But any major athlete, pro athlete out there that has made it to high levels, and even those that haven't, they can only get better by taking reps, right? They can only get better by spitting out the pitch, fumbling, and then fixing and doing it again and over and over and over again. Now, that's one part. Part two is having a system and support that helps you, right, every time you make those mistakes. So if you go and you do 1,000 reps, but nobody is there to say to you, hey, here's what you did wrong there. Try this next time. Or, hey, did you listen to what you said? That's where we lost that person. Can you tell that that person all of a sudden started kind of going, okay, Then when we start hearing that on the other end of the phone, it means the person is no longer listening to us, right? Mm-hmm. So you have to be able to, one, take the reps, and two, have support, have someone that's been there with you to say, here's how you do this right. Here's what you're doing wrong. Here's what you're doing right. And get better and get better and better. Does that make sense to everybody out there? Number one on sales and how to get better at a presentation and how to get better at a pitch, right? Give me a yes, give me a no. But it's so important because, again, guys, if you do not take the reps, right? Somebody wrote it there. A pitch is not training. 100% correct. The pitch is not going to get you there. The pitch is the structure. It's the template that you follow, especially when you're new in any sale, right? Is what you follow so that you don't fumble all over the place. Because if we don't have something to go back on and go back to, then we're just rambling, right? And we're going to lose the sale. Every sale requires control, right? So if I'm going to talk to you and I'm going to present you and sell you something, again, step one, discovery. Step two, identifying pain points and building that need, right? And step three, control. How do I control this conversation? And many of you out there are seeing this now, guys, that you'll get on a call, especially new guys out there, especially ones that have never sold anything. You'll get on a call and the person will say, well, what's the quote? I'm just here for the information. I don't have time for this. What's the quote? And if you do not know how to turn that person over and have complete control of the conversation. And by the way, side note, complete control doesn't mean you're pushy. It doesn't mean you're like aggressive. It doesn't mean any of those things, guys. It means that you're having a conversation one-on-one with someone, and without them knowing it, you are leading the person where you want them to go. Step one, I'm discovering with you. We're communicating. You're gathering the information. They're feeling that you care, that you're empathetic, right? So for example, just as a little pointer, right? I say to someone, hey, what's happened in your life that right now you're looking at final expense? Well, 6 months ago, I got diagnosed with cancer and I'm now battling it and I'm trying to make it out. My tone immediately has to change, guys, right? When someone says something like that, my tone has to change. My gosh, I'm so sorry to hear about this. I can't imagine how your family feels knowing that you're going through this. And then relate, right? Relate. How can I relate to this person? How can I show empathy? How can I connect? And how can I relate? Because the more that you do that, the more the person is locked in. And it doesn't become about price. That's what happens in this industry and in most sales environments. Salespeople come in and they have not been trained properly. And so all you know how to do is sell price. And if you're new and you don't have that structure, you're going to go to price every time because it's the easiest thing to do. It's easy, right? You're looking at a quoting tool. You're seeing that they can get $15,000 for $50 or $70. And if you don't know how to properly present or sell, you're just going to give them that. And then they're going to go, okay, thank you. Call me back. Click.
Yep.
And you'll never get them back on the phone, guys. Right. So it is so important that we do not sell price. If you connect with people properly, if you understand their true needs, it doesn't become about price, right? And here's why. A person can afford what they can afford. If it's $50 a month, if it's $100 a month, you're not going to be able to change that, right? They're not going to be able to change that. At that part, it is what it is. So if it is what it is, then can't they just use anybody to get this plan, right? Because their budget is $50, right? So potentially anybody can give them a plan for $50. It's those of us that connect on a deeper level, right? That build those connections with people that keep them, one, from ever going away, going somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
Two, if they find it cheaper somewhere else, they're going to think twice about going because, like Ashley said before, you make those connections. They become your friends. They don't just become your client. There's someone that they'll reach out to. And that's happened to me. I know it's happened to Ashley many times. I still have clients. I haven't written a policy myself in over a year and a half. And I still have clients that reach out to me, right? And say, hey, Oscar, I just want to tell you that this just happened with my family, da, 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 da. It's the connections that we build. So that's number one and most important, guys, sales. So if you don't have that now, right? And this is now, what do I do now, right? If you're sitting there and you're going, well, I don't have this, right? I don't have anybody that's helping me do this. I don't have the ability to get this training, whether because you're either not contracted yet, you don't have an IMO, or as we all know far too well, you might be at an IMO, but they just don't provide this kind of training, right? They kind of just say, well, here's your contract, go buy leads, and let me know when you get a sale, right? And that's very, very common in this business. And so right now, guys, if you're in that position, in the position of like, this makes sense to me, I need to understand sales and how to do this. Do you have that right now is my question. Do you have that support? Do you have that training? Drop a yes or no in there. And because that's number one, foundation, right? Support, training, system. Okay. Now, number two, what happens? What now I have a support. Now I know I can get the training, or I want to get this training, or I identify, no, look, nobody, right? Look at these no's. This is the common problem across this field, across this industry, guys. Mm-hmm. This is an everyday struggle. And I tell you this because I've now helped, again, over 400 agents, guys, in the last 2.5 years that I've been doing just the lead generation component, right? Which is why I'm here today with Ashley, because I kept seeing it. It was the same thing over and over again, guys. People that have no guidance. They have the will, they have the determination, they want to succeed, they want to spend the time on the phone, they want to do the things to be successful, but they don't have the guidance or the help to get there, right? So now we've identified, number one, that if you don't have that, then that's the first thing you need to solve, right? How you solve that, there's many different ways out there, and we have a solution for you, but you might not want to do it with us, right? So at the end of this call, guys, whether you decide that what we have for you is going to supply the things that you need or not, what's most important is that you find what aligns with you and that you fix these things right now. Don't waste any more time if you are identifying that, gosh, they're right. I need this sales training, but I don't have it. Go get it, guys, because if you don't, you're going to waste more time, you're going to waste more money, and you will become the statistic, right? The 90.
You will fail. I was failing for the first 6 months. Remember, 5 different IMOs. For the first 6 months, I was failing. I had maybe 6 policies. 2 or 3 of them were for friends and family. And I sought out the support. I needed someone to give me a script that was proven to work. That's a big thing. A script that is proven to work, and someone to review my calls that I could listen to, someone to dissect my calls with me, because I didn't know what I didn't know. I didn't know how I should sound. I didn't realize that I needed to repeat things back to the person on the other side so they felt heard. I didn't know that that one sentence that Mildred said in the beginning, that was actually an objection. And I needed to squash that before I move forward. There's so many little nuances when you are presenting over the phone that if you are not in a position where your upline or whoever brought you into the industry has a script that is proven, that they've actually closed AP themselves, and they are taking the time, whether you get to listen to them make the presentations and close up shop, or they review the calls that you did and you approve upon your skill set, you're burning your wheels and you will burn out of the industry. You have to have that type of support wherever you're at. And if Oscar, like Oscar said, if we're not the fit for you, that's okay, but go find it. You have to find that type of support. You have
absolutely. Absolutely, guys. I just want to answer this question. Somebody posted, right? I am on a Medicare business. Does anybody know if people getting final expense, does it affect their Medicaid eligibility? Absolutely, guys, right? Absolutely, because Medicaid, you can't have any assets to receive any form of Medicaid benefits, right? So they're going to look at assets, and life insurance is considered an asset, right? So they cannot. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Now, guys, so sales, number one, identify first pain point, right? Some of you mentioned here that I see, I got some training, I don't have any lead generation, or I'm, somebody said weak training, so you have to identify those things, guys. And by the way, sometimes we make a mistake, right? Ashley will tell you, right? She joined 3, 4, 5 different IMOs before she realized, right? And when she realized that one of them was not delivering the things that she needed, she found someone else. Mm-hmm. And then she found that one lacked another piece of the entire system that she needed, right? And she went somewhere else until she finally got to the point that she knew her sales were covered, her systems were covered, her leads were covered. And when you can get these 3 things, guys, handled, you are off to the races, right? That is what is keeping so many of you out there from being able to produce, is you're missing one of those 3 things. And the analogy that I use is a train track, right? On a train track, if one side of the track is not in line with the other, the train can't move, guys, right? If there's something wrong on one side of the train track, sales, and on the other side of the train track, leads, let's say, you're not going to go anywhere. It doesn't matter how much money you throw at it. It doesn't matter how many people you hire. It doesn't matter. You have to get these 3 things set up for yourself right now. So number 1 was sales, right? Number 2, we talk about systems, okay, which Ashley talked a little bit about, and I love systems, right? I will tell you, I'm the person that came into this business 3 years ago, and I went like gaga over things like Go High Level, right? And funnels and surveys and SMS and AI bots and calendar bookings. And I was like, oh my God, I need all of it, right? And I'm going to do it right now. And I'm going to set up my funnel and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. And I fell flat on my face, right? Because I had no idea how to create a funnel. I had no idea how to tag a contact properly. I had no idea how to create a workflow, right, that would help me engage with people using SMS. I had no idea that there was something called A2P registration, and that if I didn't register my phone number, I couldn't send out one text message. And this happened to me over and over again. And so I went out and I learned it, and I partnered with someone that knew, in this case, Go High Level. If you don't know what Go High Level is, go kind of look it up. It's the largest CRM used in the insurance business. There's many white label variations of Go High Level. Some of them are fantastic. Some of them are absolute trash, right? And this webinar training is not about what CRM to use. All I can tell you is the most common used one is Go High Level, okay? And within that, you're going to find all these great variations, white label versions that call it something else. But once you log in, they're all using the same platform, which is the High Level platform. In this platform, guys, you manage all your leads, right? You can create SMS automations. You can create the engagements, the calendar funnels. And so that's what I got so excited about. And it took me months and months and months to figure out. That's why when I started doing lead generation for agents, it was very important for me not just to provide the lead aspect like the creative and the ad. It was just as important, because I had just went through this myself as a pain point, the systems that help me take that lead, nurture it, engage with it, and help me convert it into a sale. right? And so systems, guys, if you don't have a CRM, and I still find this so crazy. There's people out there, guys, and if you're one of this, raise your hand if you don't feel it's okay. Nobody's going to judge you here, but if you're out there selling right now and you're generating leads or buying leads and you don't have a CRM, give me a yes, give me a that's me, right? Because there's still folks out there that are buying leads and working them on a notepad, right? Or working them off of a Google sheet. And guys, I'm here to tell you, if you don't have systems, you're going to lose the deal every single time to somebody who does. Okay.
Well, and also, if you don't have the systems, let me add to it. You cannot, in the way that telesales work, you will never get your closing percentages that you need to function. I want everyone to write this down real quick so you are aware of it. You need to be at least a 5% close in order to sustain yourself in business. Meaning, out of all the leads that you have coming to you, your closing percentage should be at a 5%. If you're falling below that, you are in trouble in this industry. You cannot stay green and stay positive and get your cost per acquisition where it needs to be if you're not hitting a 5% closing ratio, okay? And my recommendation, since we're on the topic real quick, 110 to 120 leads a week at minimum is where you need to really thrive, to get the reps in, to kind of flow. And someone had asked, what do we mean when we say systems? I want to be more specific. Systems means the CRM. System means how does your lead connect from social media into your CRM? And then what's the workflow they're hit with? How are they nurtured? Do you have a way to track who is texting the bot and stay top of mind to those folks? Do you get the alert on your phone the second you get a new lead? And does that system call you to say, hey, someone is raising their hand right now because they are requesting a live call? Do you have the booking calendar to where people can book an appointment out for you? Do you have a follow-up workflow? When you close up a policy, do you have a way to nurture them to keep them on the books? Those are the systems. This is a business. And so everything to operate the business, to stay in front and take care of your clients, that is the system. Does anyone have any questions on the system? Because I know people were kind of asking about it.
And I'll double down on some of this information, right? And it's 100% correct. The other part is, what is a workflow, right? What is a workflow? It's a series of actions and steps that happen automatically when an action happens, meaning a lead comes in, that's an action. So now the CRM, it's going to send them a message that says, hey, John, thank you so much for requesting information about final expense. I see that you're in zip code 12345. Is that correct? Right? Imagine if you had to do that manually for every single lead that you get or that you buy. Man, you'd be wasting time. Right. So a workflow does that for you automatically, right? It nurtures, it engages with people. And in 2025, guys, we all know about AI, right? ChatGPT. So you want to leverage those things, right? So now the systems that we put in place for agents ourselves are exactly that. We are tying in ChatGPT into the CRM, and it's an AI bot that we train based on a prompt that we give it, and we tell it, act as, right, a final expense assistant, and your goal is to try to book a call for this customer, for this new lead that's coming in, and we prompt it, right? We train the AI so that every lead that comes in, the AI is talking to them. So if you're on the phone dialing, or if someone just picked up, or if you're in the middle of a sale, but a lead just came in, well, if you don't have that system, I do, and Ashley does. And so if that person, chances are, again, thinking about your market, guys, when somebody sees your ad or any ad on Facebook, even if you're buying leads, forget generating, whether you're buying them or generating them, chances are that if they saw or fill that lead form, right, they're going to see 5 or 6 other competitors, right, which create competition in the marketplace. They're going to see competitors. And so if they fill out your lead form, and then they go and they fill out Ashley's lead form, and you don't have that system and she does, guess what? She's probably going to get to that person before you are. Why? Because not everybody picks up, guys. And that's pain point number 2 here, along within systems, right? We're in an age, and you guys think about this yourselves on the other end, where people do not like to pick up the phone. They just don't, right? And if they don't recognize the phone number, they're not going to pick it up, and there's a much lower chance of getting a hold of that person. So what do? Do we give up and just go do something else? Option one, right? Option two is we use technology to get a hold of people. And that's where these systems, workflows come in, where you send that text message, the person responds, and now what's happened? Here's the picture. Well, now somebody saw your ad on social media, then they filled out the lead form. Now they're in your CRM, they get a text message, and you might call them, but they don't answer, but they get the text message and they say, yes, I am in zip code 12345. Communication has just started, right? And now you've linked, right? Now they're no longer a lead. Now you're communicating with that lead, which again is going to set you apart from somebody who doesn't have those things. So those are systems. How do we make a lead better, right? How do we create how do we use the system to improve upon every person that gives us their info? Well, here's how we do it. Here's what Ashley does, right? Which is the system that I provide in lead generation is lead comes in, right? And we're going to provide that lead with a very direct message. Many of you know, if you've been in this business, and if you haven't, you'll start noticing a lot of the ads out there specifically for final expense are bait and switch, right? It's a government program. It's a fund that's going to run out, and you need to click here right now to get your little piece of this fund so that you can protect your family. There's a lot of bait and switch, right? And that's predominant out there. So what we do is we go against that, right? Every single creative that we make for an agent or that we help an agent make is direct. We focus on number one, pain points, right? Which is what happens if you died same thing you would do in the presentation, right? But now we're talking creative. What the person sees when they're on social media, they're going to see a video of a person that says, what happens if you die tomorrow and your children have to come up with $15,000, right? Pain point. So that person that sees that ad goes, oh man, what will happen, right? Because they hadn't thought about it before. Now we've captured attention. Now we're going to hit them with a couple more. Right? Will your family go bankrupt because they don't have the money? Will they have to come up with a GoFundMe? Will they have to borrow money in order to pay for your final expenses? We keep them hooked into that creative. And then we deliver solutions, right? Final expense insurance can be a great solution. It's affordable. There are no medical exams required, and approvals are easy. If you're interested in protecting your family, click below and fill out the lead form. Connect with one of our agents. Right? That's a good creative. That's a good message that you put out there. And so that's what we do. We help agents create that great message so that the person sees it, they fill it out, and now the lead comes in, right? Now the person knows exactly what they're filling out and exactly what you're going to talk about when you call them, right? They're not going to pick up the phone and go, yeah, I want to know about that free fund. You know, I want to get part of that free fund that my state has available. Gosh, that's a waste of time. Okay. So systems, guys, systems are so important to have. And if you don't know how to set these up, you're going to find yourself again in a position where you're losing traction, you're wasting time, you're wasting money.
Yes. And let me add to that. So a couple of things that we've covered so far. The scripting, your presentation key is important. Now we've gone over the systems, the importance to have your standard operating procedures dialed in. I've had a lot of, some people were asking about the number of leads. I recommend the 110 to 120 a week. You need to have 10 to 15 leads coming in a day in order to get those reps in, to get on the phones, to make those calls. Also, someone else asked about doing that at a part-time capacity. Again, I want to highlight, I am able to do this at a part-time capacity, do 20 to 30K a month. However, I did not start out there. I really was no good on the phone, y'all. I didn't really know what to do. I didn't know how to use my CRM. It was a struggle. And I did work over full time in the beginning when I was training. I had to sink my teeth into this. I had to push past my comfort zone. I had to get comfortable with asking those uncomfortable questions on the call. I had to learn how to even use a CRM. I had to learn how I could make dials and then also have a second window so I could be texting and engaging with people who were talking to the bot. It's you can't come right out the gate and go part-time. It's like impossible because you just don't have a skill set and you don't know what you don't know. But if you tap into the right systems, you have the right trainer, you have the accountability, you have the coach, you absolutely can get there in no time flat. It doesn't take very long to get there if you're honed in, you're dialed in, and you have the right trainer. Now, we talked about those two things. The other leg I want to talk about before we run out of time here is the leads. A lot of people, Oscar, are asking how many states? I see it over and over again. How many states should I have? And so I'm going to let Oscar kind of explain to you. This is coming from, again, he's with Scale My Social. He helps agents set up their own Meta accounts so you get leads at cost. And I'm going to let him dive into the lead question here.
Absolutely. Okay. So before we get into the state question, I want to also address something that I saw a couple times here. Compliance, TCPA compliance, one-to-one consent compliance. Guys, absolutely, you must be compliant as of January 27th, right? It's coming up 7 days, guys. The one-to-one consent goes into effect. If you don't know what that is, go look it up. I'm going to give you a quick overview on it. Starting the 27th of this month, when somebody gives you information to call them, they are only giving one company or one person consent to reach out to them. It's called the one-to-one consent. Prior to this, when a consumer fills out a lead form or request for information, that company that generates that lead could have a little disclaimer at the bottom that says, by giving us your information, you're allowing for us to call you, all our partners, our cousins, our brothers, and every other person that we want to sell this lead to. You're giving us all consent to all of us call you. Right? And what did that create? Well, that created the spam calls that we get over and over all day long, right? And so in an effort, the FTC, in an effort to mitigate this, they introduced what's called the one-to-one consent. So now you cannot call someone if that person has not consented to you calling them directly. So age leads, if you're going to go buy age leads from a company that are 6 months old and they were consented to someone else, if you're going to hand dial those leads, you're okay. But if you're going to use a dialing system, right, a dialer within the CRM, then you are not in compliance and you are opening up yourself for lawsuits. And guys, you'll never get to court, right? It's just attorneys looking for a quick buck. They're going to get you for $1,000, $2,000, $5,000, and they're off to the next person. So compliance is so important. Make sure that whatever lead source you go with, whoever you buy leads from, that they are showing you the exact consent and verbiage that is going out to every single person. Okay. Now, states. How many states should you have if you're going to generate leads? If you're going to generate lead, guys, I highly recommend that you're in at least 10 to 15 states, and more than that you're working your way towards the 20 and the 30 state area. Why? Well, simple. One, if you're marketing on social media, on Facebook, on TikTok, on YouTube, it's a supply and demand marketplace. The more people you have to target, right? The larger your audience, the lower your cost is going to be on that lead, right? When it gets generated. Okay. So you have to little by little add it, right? It's an investment into yourself. I highly recommend it. Now, if you're just going to buy leads from a lead vendor, you don't need to invest in states because you can buy just state leads. But what's the difference? Well, when you go buy a lead, guys, from anybody, from whoever it is that you go, all these lead vendors that are out there, you're going to pay for final expense right now, a social media lead, the average social media lead. I don't find them lower than 15 or 16 bucks out there. And on average, if you go buy a lead for final expense, a decent lead, you're probably more looking in the 20s. Okay. Now you go generate that lead on your own. You're going to pay a fraction of the price. Right? So if you're spending $1,000 a week on leads, right, and you're paying $20, or you're generating the lead and you're spending $1,000 a week on leads and you're generating them for $10, you're literally doubling the amount of leads that you're going to have for not spending one more dollar. So does it make sense to invest into states? Absolutely, particularly if you think about generating your own leads. Again, if you're going to buy them, then go buy them. Now, is lead generation for everybody? No, it is not. If you need to look at your budget, you need to look at your finances. You got into this business knowing that you need to invest into yourself. You need to invest into leads. So that's number one thing to look at, guys. Okay. And that's going to cover your lead aspects. Okay. Number three in here. Let's see. Oh, I just saw a question. Vic, hey, how you doing, Vic? Vic is actually a client that we've helped with other stuff. So awesome that you're in here, friend. I can use a dialer like Kixie with social media, with Scale My Social Leads. Absolutely. You can use any dialer because every lead that we generate or that you generate or we help you generate has a one-to-one consent. That person, Vic, is consenting to you and you alone. So you are 100% in compliance and you can use any dialing software that's out there, guys. Okay. All right. Next thing. So now we've talked about the pain points, the three systems, right? It's the leads, it's the sales process, the coaching, right? And the system. Now, if you guys want to know, how do I get these things, right? What are we here to do? What do we have to offer you that is going to help you have these things? Here we are, guys. We're going to get right into that. I'm going to let Ashley talk a little bit about it and get ready to go into it. But guys, before we get into it, I want to say this one more time. Whether you do this with us or not, and you're going to have an opportunity to book a call and talk to literally one of us. That's who you're going to talk to. You're not going to talk to somebody in another country. You're not going to get flagged to some random person. You're going to speak to Ashley or you're going to speak to me. Guys, whether you do it with us or not, it's not what's at question. What's at question is if in this webinar you identify that you are lacking one of these three things in your business, go find it. Stop wasting time and go find it with whoever you align with and whoever you feel is going to provide those things for your business. Don't waste any more time, guys. Okay. So now what do we have? Ashley, let's talk a little bit about our structure and lead them with kind of our sales, what we provide that can help them with sales.
Yes, I'm going to share my screen real quick. Let me open up a window so you guys can kind of see everything that we put together. This is literally the entire package that you need. This is what I searched for and why I went through 5 different IMOs. Do you have it there, Oscar? Are you able to enable the screen share for me?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Give me 1 second. Here we go.
Yeah. So this is everything that you need to win in the world of final expense. Okay. First off, Oscar and I have put together a complete video library. It's a complete breakdown of my script, the script that I shared in the chat above. This script, again, is wash, rinse, and repeat. However, just like everything we talked about, right? You don't know what you don't know. And if you've never done sales before, if you're new to the space, you need to understand what you're supposed to sound like. You need to understand that, okay, when that person said that on the phone, I needed to take that as a front-end objection. That is what the video series does for you. It breaks it down so you understand, while in each section of the script, why are you even asking those questions? What are you trying to extrapolate from the client on the other side of the phone? What are some key common, super common things that folks will say that you need to pay attention to and squash as an objection? Okay, so you get the entire video series on the script. You also get the business tracker with a walkthrough of how to use the business tracker. I built this business tracker myself. If you are not tracking how much money is going out of your checking account, how much money is being deposited, if you don't know what your 75% upfront was and what you're waiting to get for months 10, 11, and 12, if you don't know what you do every day with your numbers, how many dials you did, what was your talk time, what is your closing percentage? If you're not doing that every single day, you are not running a business, okay? And you will fail. No business in the history of ever can get through and be profitable if they're not tracking their business. This is critical, which is why we put this together and we are giving it to every single agent we're helping. It is a crucial step. Also, complete series on how to optimize your business, right? So again, you need to know how to dial, how to pay attention to your text messages, how to get everything to link up and sync up. and stay on top of your business, your flows, your SOPs, that the optimization. And then how do I say, okay, if I'm making 20K a month, how do I look at my business and make little tweaks to double the 20 to 40, right? That's the optimized business part. Then there's monthly power hour trainings. Okay. Just like we're doing now. We're going to just like funnel hose everything at you. Then there is video trainings on how to use the CRMs, how to understand your meta account. Okay. How to go in and look at how many leads came in. How much are you paying for those leads? That you are a business owner. These are all things that you need to know. Again, live call recordings. This is critical. If you don't know what it sounds like to close a sale, then where's your guiding compass arrow? If you've never heard someone, I'm going to ask y'all this real quick. How many of you have never heard a sales presentation from beginning to end where someone actually got a policy? Please say I if you have never actually heard a full presentation from beginning to end and they got a sale. Anyone? Has everyone essentially listened to a presentation? I would hope so, because you need to. You need to constantly be listening. Okay, Rich, it's important. You need to get with someone to listen to Edward. Y'all need to be listening to presentations. That is critical to growth and understanding what you should sound like. You need someone in front of you who has arrows in their back, someone who does this, who can show you the way so you don't have to get all the arrows in your back. Also, because we are powered by Scale My Social, okay, lead flow is critical. I have done penny on the dollar leads. I have done free leads. I have done live call transfer leads where I've spent $55, $65 a pop. I have paid a premium for Facebook leads, $25, $32 a lead. I have paid someone high ticket to teach me how to actually try to build up my own meta account. And I lost thousands of dollars trying to do that. I'm telling you now, there's nothing else in the life insurance space that can do what Scale My Social does for agents. So because of that, and because we're powered by Scale My Social, you get the $500 credit for the first month to get everything up and running for you. So you will plug into this system. You will not have to question where your leads are coming from. You just show up, you get into your CRM and you make the dials, and then we build a skill set to take you from here to scaling and earning a living. Also, community is so, so important in life insurance. You're on these phones. This is sales. Okay. There are days where this is not fun all the time. There are days where it's really, really hard on the phones. Even myself, like there are days where I will show up. Last week I showed up. I had 3 sales by noon. The day before that, I had 0 sales. It was brutal on the phones. Wow, to be able to lean in on other like-minded individuals who are out there dialing with me, who are going through the thick of it, to encourage each other, to support each other, to celebrate wins, to come back and say, hey, this guy just said this. What could I have said differently? What would you have said? That community is critical. If not, the mental game will cause you to fail out of the business. You will question every little detail about your business, about what you're doing, and you'll get off of track very, very quickly without the proper community. I like to go ahead, Oscar. You have something to add to that?
Well, this is so important, guys. I just want to add this, right? Because this is again something that is going to happen to you, is probably already happening to you guys. Sales is a roller coaster, right? There are days, like Ashley said, she came in, she got the hat trick. And I remember that last week, right? She was like, stop texting me. I'm working on my hat trick, right? I'm working on my 3rd of the day. Like I'm on it, right? And those are days where you're sweating, you're excited, and like you have everything going into that sales call. And that's what breeds more sales, right? And so those days where you get 1 and then you get 2, you are unstoppable. Right?
5 is a good day. 5 feels good. Have anyone gotten 5 a day? I sure have. That's a good day.
That's an incredible day, guys. But on the other side of the coin, there's days where you come in and you do 200 dials and you get hung up on 15 times and people tell you to F off and go do this and go do that. And so what's important on those days is the day ends. You've had a terrible day. You got beat up left and right. Now you go to bed, your mind starts playing tricks, right? Am I not good enough? Am I missing something? Is it the leads?
Does
Is
my
it
script need to
me?
be revamped? You're going to start tweaking things that you don't need to tweak because the system works. That's where agents fall. You will get in your head and then you will start to change things. And you think because you're driving off of your emotions that it's in your best interest, but it is not.
It is not.
Once you find a system that is tried and true, whether it's with me and Oscar or anyone else, if someone is winning with that system, do not make those edits. Do not make those edits until you have consecutively produced 20 to 30K AP a month for at least 3 months in a row. And then if you want to tweak things by your own accord, go do it. But if you're not there, follow someone else's system.
Now, how do you keep yourself from not making those tweaks, right? That's what this program does, guys. It keeps you in the system. It keeps you accountable, right? The next morning, you're going to jump into the morning call, and it's going to be about a new day. It's going to be about setting our mindset for that day. It's not going to be about allowing you to veer into all these different things. We're going to keep you focused, right? We're going to keep you in where you need to be, and we're going to make sure that all the things that you need, it's just plug in, right? It's just plug in. And this is so important, guys. So I just wanted to say that. So go ahead, Ashley. I just wanted to, because it's so important.
It is absolutely critical in everything that you do to have that community. I like to always say you never rise to your potential, but you'll fall to the potential of those around you. So also having your inner circle be of like-minded individuals who are also striving for the same things, having a community of people who show up and they don't play around. They are not here for a social hour. We all have goals. We all have a mission. And it really does change your potential and change your growth curve. Okay. Also in the Slack community, you'll have access to me and Oscar. We're in there constantly. We're talking to you. We're encouraging you. We're giving you feedback. That's what we're there for. Now, also we have like Oscar had said, the morning wake up calls. This is so, so important. I am a true believer in these morning wake up calls for a half hour in the morning. You are showing up with everyone else. We are working on objection handling. We're going over what your goals are for that day. We're going over what objections do we need to work on that you got yesterday that you need to do better on today. Let's do a call review. Let's role play. Every dynamic of what we can do, we work on first thing in the morning, and it's a compressed 30-minute window so that when we end the call, everyone is in the Zoom dial room because we will dial together. Everyone is in there and you're hitting the phones running. When I say systems too, it also looks like when you hit the phones running, you don't do anything else but dial until at least noon. I don't want you calling carriers. Don't answer emails. You need to be hyper-focused on your people because you want a policy by noon. That is like a secret sauce that really got me going is aim for a policy by noon. It will really change your momentum in the business. Then also, total, y'all, we're offering 2.5 hours of training every single day, Monday through Friday. Why is that important? Because the script, the trainings, the role plays, you need to constantly be role playing this script. You need to be working on your tone. You need to be working on your tempo. You need to understand the temperature you're receiving from the client on the other side of the phone. And you only get to understand those things through the training, through hearing other calls. So there's also call reviews. We have objection handling. We have everything that you need to continue to sharpen your sword in a really, really big way. And this is everything. It's taken me 2 years to figure out. Well, literally 18 months with 5 different IMOs, trying all the leads, trying all the systems, figuring out, okay, this works. Now I'm missing this other leg of the table, right? And here I am, and I just want to pour it in. I want every agent to be able to win in this industry, to do it even at a part-time capacity. You can work yourself there. It is not hard to do as long as you have everything dialed in.
And guys, I'll just to add to that, right? Like the trainings. These trainings are so important because, again, it's what's going to get you. I said this in the beginning. You could sit there and do 1,000 dials a day. If nobody's training you, if nobody's giving you feedback, you're just going to keep making the same mistakes, right? So Ashley and I are committed to this every single day. If it's not her, it's me. Sometimes it's both of us, right? And I'm going to go into, like, she covers the pitch a lot because this is her, like, she is so good at this, guys. When you hear her go through a presentation, you're going to go, man, that's what I'm missing, right? I'm going to teach you tonality. I'm going to teach you how to discover people, how to get and connect with people. I'm going to teach you about lead generation. I'm going to make you feel good about knowing that the ads are running and you don't have to worry about it. I'm going to answer your questions about the CRM, all of it, right? You are completely supported. Now, I want to say something because here's a really, really interesting question that I always touch base on towards the end, but I'm going to do this now because I think it's so important, right? Somebody said, is it worth it? Let me look at the question right here, okay? The question was specifically about, is it worth going into a free lead program and giving up your commissions, right? Guys, let's tackle that because this is important. Free lead programs are amazing. They're incredible, right? And they're going to provide a tremendous amount of value, right? And everything that we're talking about here is what a free lead program will give you, the good ones, right? And I'm happy to say that David's free lead program is one of the good ones, guys, right? Yeah. So if you end up determining that that's the better solution for you, run to it, guys. Don't walk, run to it. And here's why, okay? In a free lead structure, the beautiful thing is that you don't pay for leads. You don't have any financial outlay, right, to get into the business. And you have the systems, the leads, the processing, the training, all given to you. You have someone that's holding you accountable every single day, whether you're doing the calls, whether you're not making the calls, the training, the call reviews, it's all given to you. What is the cost of that? Well, the cost is typically 70, 60% of your commission. So every single deal that you write, you're paying that agency 70% of your commissions, 60% of your commissions. So is it worth it? Well, that's for you to decide based on the financials of it, right? Let's do the math real quick. If you write one deal a day, guys, which everybody should be able to do here once you get into a good structure and system, and the average deal, let's call it for simple math, $1,000, which I think is a pretty good average. Some people maybe are a little bit lower, but just for math purposes, you write a deal, it's $1,000. Your commission on that deal is 30% or 40%. So you're going to make $300 to $400. You've paid that agency $500 or $600 for that deal. Let's call it $500 for simple math. You do one deal a day. That's $2,500 a week. That's $10,000 a month. That's $30,000 that you would have paid that agency over the course of your first 3 months to get the structure, get the leads, get the accountability, get the system to help you be successful. So option one is free lead program. Now, is that good for some people? Absolutely. If you don't have money to invest in yourself, that becomes your only option, basically. And I highly recommend you take it. The other side of the coin is, can I find the same structure? Can I find a system that provides me the leads that would be used in a free lead program like David's? Can I find the accountability piece, the team training piece, the ongoing support piece without giving up 70% of my commissions? And that's where the tables turn, right? Because if you're an agent out there that identifies that you're missing one or all three of these things, and you have the money to invest in yourself, well, I would rather pay a coaching system a few $1,000s than pay $30,000 over the course of 3 months or 4 months to an agency. That's just me, right? But I came into the business with that money, with that financial part of it, understood that I'm going to build this business. Some of us don't have it, and that's okay. So if you don't have the money to train, to buy leads, then guys, it's a simple decision, right? Your life is easy. Go find a free lead program, tap into it, become the best version of yourself as an agent, and then go out on your own. That's my best advice. But if you have the money to invest in yourself, you must run the numbers and understand that it is going to cost you tens of thousands of dollars in your commissions to join a free lead program, to get something that you could potentially pay upfront once and be done and get everything. So does that explanation make sense to you guys? And if you're out there right now, which one would you do, right? Give me an answer. Like if you're out there right now, which one of those two would be the best option for you? If you had nothing else to decide right now, which one of those two structures would be the best one for you guys?
I guess they call it free leads or brokering. Free leads or brokering. Which one do you think would be the better of the two for you? And it really does come down to, you know, it is a slippery slope when you enter into the brokering world. Again, it comes to the systems, the accountability, the community, right? Because when you're making that investment into yourself and into your business, if you don't have the support and you don't have a clear path on what you need to do to be profitable in your business, man, again, that voice in your head will come in, it will creep in, you will get stressed out, you will make edits, you will self-sabotage every single time. That's why it's even more so important as a broker, because you are pouring money into your business, is to make sure you're getting fed and you're told exactly what to do, and don't question that system. Be coachable and train and be able to be trained by someone who has arrows in their back so that you can just scale very, very quickly. Ashley,
Exactly.
Start with
exactly, guys.
leads. Yes. So no, I actually started in an MLM where it was go by penny on the dollar lead. So when I first entered into the industry, within 3 weeks, I was $2,800 in the hole. I bought I can't even remember how many pages of spreadsheets of just random numbers, random names, penny on the dollar, age data. Some of this stuff was well over a year old. Definitely not compliant. That was for sure. $2,800 in the hole in 3 weeks. And I came into this business wanting to work while my kids were at school and get out of debt. So my husband wasn't very happy 3 weeks in. And then I went to another MLM that was also free leads. So I started with buying my leads, and then I jumped into a free lead system. And then worked my way again. I've done the inbound live trans. I've done a little bit of all of it, trying to figure out the systems that work.
There you go. Now look, guys. So yeah, option 2, free leads, free leads, free leads. Guys, those of you that are out there right now writing free leads, your decision is made, right? You don't stop looking for leads, stop looking for, focus on a free lead program. And again, highly recommend David's free lead program, right? But you don't need to look at anything else. You don't have the money to do anything else, right? But if you're out there, right? Larry, Lori, Sally, you guys are saying brokering, right? Brokering, Gary, brokering with the support. Then the answer is simple. Find the system where you can go make the investment into yourself. And I always say this, and I'll continue saying it, whether it's with us or not, that's beside the point, right? It's if we have helped you today identify that this one of these 3 things is what you're missing, go find it, go plug the hole, fill the gap, and become the best version of yourselves, guys. Okay. Now, somebody mentioned, I did want to answer this question here because we're really just answering questions. Oh, prices, guys. What's the price of this? It's an investment here, right? And it's going to start depending on where you are, right? We have different options for you. We just highlighted one so that you would understand what we do, right? But we offer one-on-ones, right? We'll do one-on-one trainings where it's just you and me or you and Ashley, and we're heavily focused on you and what you're doing. It's hard to tell you right now which one you should fit into, guys, but I will tell you that this program will cost you several $1,000s, guys. I'm going to put that out there right now, just so that if you think that this is free or that that's not the case, right? This is an investment, guys. You're getting access to, again, one piece, which is the leads, that's been proven over and over and over and over again to work, and 2, a system and a structure of sales coaching that has worked over and over and over and over again. So those things do have a price. Which one is the right for you? Book a call, guys. Book a call and spend 5 minutes with us, because just like we're preaching right now to you that when you sell final expense, it's important to have a discovery, right? The same thing is true here. If I just tell you that the price is $20,000, right? You're going to go, wow, well, I don't need that, right? Just like if I tell you the price is $4,000, it's a price, and that's all you're based on. We need to have discovery. I need to have a conversation with you. I need to see where your head is at, because quite frankly, we're not taking everybody, right? Ashley and I have a finite amount of time out here that we can invest into every person in this program.
Yeah.
Are there people out there that will pay for something and not follow through and not show up? Yes, there's lots of you out there that pay for things and do not show up and don't do it. I can't do that, right? If you're going to pay for this, I need to know that you are ready to commit, that you're ready to work as hard as you've ever worked in your life, because we can give you all these things, right? We can give you leads, we can give you support, we can give you system, guys. But if you're not showing up for yourself, if you're not having that self accountability, that, man, this is me. I do tend to do this. I do tend to say I want to do something, but then not follow through 100%. But yet I want to make six figures. Well, those things don't align, guys. So for us, it's very important to jump on a call. If you truly are interested in bettering your situation, in improving your career, in getting to the goals that you perhaps haven't been able to get to, whether you're new or whether you're 20 years in this business, because there's a lot of people out there, guys, that have been in a spinning wheel, which happens, right? It's the 15 to 20,000 a month line, right? A lot of agents get to that point. And I want to say something, right? Ashley, at an average of 15 or 20,000 or 30,000 a month, working part-time, guys, she is in the top 2% of producers in this business, right? If Ashley worked 60, 70 hours a week, like some of these agents do, guys, she would be writing easily 50,000, 60,000 a month. There is no doubt about it. But she has chosen to have that balance, right? Her family, all the priorities, all the things that she has. But guys, if you're out there and you're working full time and you can't get over the hump of 15,000 a month or 20,000 a month or 25,000 a month.
Something there that you got to, oh my gosh, there's some, especially if you're producing a little bit and you're working full time. Oh my gosh, you absolutely, you need a coach. Sometimes you need that coach to go in and look at your business and see exactly what you're doing. And as long as you're coachable and you're willing to make tweaks to what you're doing, man, can you soar?
This is it, guys, right? And so this message is for the new person or those of you that have been in here for many years. You're in here for a reason, right? If you've been in this business for 20 years and you're in this call today and you've lasted this long, we've been on for an hour and 22. We still got 135 people in the room, guys. So obviously the things that we're saying to you make a lot of sense. And so if you're out there, whether you're new or whether you're stuck in this place of like, man, I can't get over this 20,000 hump, you're missing something. You're missing one of these three pieces of the system. And likely it's the coaching, right? Because guys, a lead is a lead, right? Once we generate a good lead, it's a lead, right? It's now what you're going to do with that lead. How do you approach it? When someone picks up the phone, how do you introduce yourself? How do you tone that person? How do you do this? How do you do that? So likely, most of you out there, you just need real coaching. You need someone to hold you accountable. You need to go into a system and a structure. So again, a couple of people were saying price. Guys, book a call, right? Let's spend 10 minutes together, right? And if it's a right fit for you, price will be the least of your worries. I promise you. If you identify that this is the place that's going to get you to the 40,000 a month, that this is what you need to get to 20,000 a month, then guys, investing a few $1,000s is not going to make or break you. It's going to be the answer to get you to where you want to get to. So if you feel that is something that you want to dig into a little bit further and you really want to, man, is this for me? Forget about a price, because we're not pushy salespeople, guys. You're not going to get on a call with Ashley or I, and we're going to go, oh, you got to do this. Blah, blah. Absolutely not, guys. We're going to identify why you're on that call, why now, what are the things that you're missing, what are the things that you're ready to do to get better, and then what can we do specifically with one of our programs to help you get there. I hope that makes sense to a lot of you, right? Because I always want to talk about, people are like price. Guys, it's not about price. It's about value, right? It's about what you're getting out of everything.
Yeah. And I do want to add just a quick little nugget here. So like for Edward, You work full time. What is the best time to do telesales? Exactly. That is why you need a coach. That's why you need a community. That one little question I get asked and emailed and DM'd, and people on YouTube ask me that all the time. The best time to dial is the time that you're dialing. There's no magical sauce. Okay.
I love that question.
That's another pitfall that agents get into. You think that there's some magical system. You need to follow the person with the arrows in the back. You need to find the person in this industry that you trust, that you resonate with, that you are willing to be coachable with, and you need to follow their systems. If they have arrows in their back and they have a system that works, and the system is plug and play, and it is wash, rinse, and repeat, and it's tried and true over and over and over again, follow that person. All of these questions get answered on the back end of everything. Oh, you accidentally booked 2 calls, Steve. I want to do the call. Okay.
Yeah, I'll cancel that other call, guys. If you're noticing that there's no booking times, guys, that's because a lot of people are interested, right? So I'm going to open up a few more days for you guys. So if you give it a second, you refresh, you will be able to book a call, guys. You know, again, people are.
It looks like.
Yeah.
So
people, look.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, and guys, by the way, it's Ashley and I, right? So if we're a few minutes behind on a call, or if we call you and say, hey, we need to move your call, be patient with us, guys. We are pouring our heart and soul into this project. I feel so strongly about it, because from doing lead generation, that's what I find is the biggest issue, right? I can help someone get the leads. I can help them get low-cost wholesale leads. But if they don't have the coaching, it doesn't matter. So when Ashley and I got together, it was like, man, this is what's needed, right? And so we're going to open it up a little bit more. If you refresh, I'm doing it right now, guys. Go ahead and refresh and book a call with us. There you go. Okay, I went ahead and saved the calendar, and it's saving literally right now. So right now, guys, if you were trying to book a call and you weren't able to, hit refresh or go hit the link again, and you will be able to do it. Shannon, appreciate you. I'm so impressed with both of you. Thank you so much. Also, that's so nice.
Yeah, before we leave too, I just want to let y'all know I had a video today. Please go to my YouTube, just at Ashley Mullinnix. I have a live call. And that is a really good call. I want you guys to listen to. You're going to get a lot of value out of it. First, it follows my script, so you'll get a feel for the tone and tempo. But there were so many obstacles I had to overcome in that call in order to get the sale. So if you want to know what it sounds like to have a challenging presentation where you're overcoming hurdles, please go to my page. It just literally dropped a couple hours ago. You're going to find so much value in listening to that sales call. Please.
And Ashley, drop the link to your YouTube channel, guys. We totally forgot to mention that, but man, if you guys aren't following Ashley, that's the number one thing that you should do, is go follow her on YouTube. I get the notification. It's like, oh my gosh, she put out another video. Like, she is on it with this content.
Yes. It is stuff. I interview top producing agents. I share tips and tricks, like how you should be texting people, what that looks like, what your closing percentages should look like, anything business related that you need to be aware of. I am just there to pour out into you. So ask questions on YouTube if you have them. I'm always there chatting in the comments.
Absolutely, guys. I'm just answering this question here. If I purchase the CRM with all of you for $97 per month, does that come with a funnel and landing page on my Facebook account? Guys, we don't sell the CRM. We offer you a few partnerships that we have where all of our funnels, workflows, AI automations, triggers, notifications, landing pages, calendar bookings, it's all incorporated into one. So any program that you go into with us under the Perfect Agent, you will have a complete customization of your CRM done one-on-one with one of my onboarding agents on Scale My Social, right? Because we are powered by Scale My Social. So if you join our program, guys, you're going to receive every single thing that's part of the CRM, and we will implement it for you. So I wanted to make sure that we have that. Oscar, can you please reach out? I'm looking to work from Santa Marta and need to cover all legal bases. Fantastic. Okay. I will reach out to you, my friend. Just make sure that try to book a call, Danielle, please, because it's going to be hard. There's a lot going on here. Mm-hmm. Book a call. And when you get that confirmation, just shoot a little text reply. Hey, I'm the person that's trying to work from outside of the country. I want to make sure I'm compliant. Guys, you're going to be completely compliant, right? I have agents that are here in Medellin, which is where I'm at right now. I'm in Colombia, South America. I have agents down here that are working from here, completely compliant, guys. As long as we follow everything we're supposed to do, everything is going to be great. Fantastic. Yeah, guys, any last minute questions out here for Ashley, for myself? We have a couple of minutes. Any other questions that anybody has out there?
I love it. You guys are booking a call. I'm happy to be able to talk to you, see where you're at. And honestly, y'all, when we're on the call, if it's not a good fit for you and, you know, it's just, we will let you know. That's why we want to get you on a call, because this is not for everyone. It is not for everyone. And we need to understand where you're at to see if it even makes sense, right, for you.
Is Puerto Rico an acceptable state? Do you mean to dial, to be in, to work out of, or do you mean to like call people in Puerto Rico? You can certainly work.
Yeah.
You can sell in Puerto Rico. I actually do find I have several clients under my lead management company that sell in Puerto Rico. A few of them love it. A few of them don't, Arliss. So just keep that note. You know, I have an agent specifically that I'm thinking off the top of my head that's in Pennsylvania, and he does not want to sell. He tried it. He's Puerto Rican. He thought, man, I'm going to be able to really connect with my own people, and it just didn't work for him. On the other hand, I have agents that do really well. So that's something that you just have to test to kind of go. KC Chief Super Bowl champ. Fantastic. Go KC, man. I am a #1 guy. Haven't been in mortgage biz 24 years. Ashley said there's 20% chargeback. What if you do 30K per month? Or 6,000 a month if you do 20?
Took a call. This is something that I have an entire sheet of a breakdown that I can show you and share with you. This is a book a call type of question.
Right.
Yes, you always want to account for a 20% chargeback. That is industry standard. When you do math, it's fair to say and estimate about $800 in annual premium when you're crunching your numbers. That's industry standard, what you should base things off of. Okay?
Yeah, and I'll tell you this, guys, right? Because I did post something about it. If you go up in the comments, you'll be able to see that, guys. If you write $25,000 in annual premiums today, right, you're going to get paid 75% of that, right? Just raw. That's what you're going to get paid as an advance, right? Let's call that somewhere in the 18,000 realm. Now, out of that 18,000, you're going to have a 20%, maybe 25% chargeback percentage. That's going to be another $4 to $5 grand that you knock off. So if you're writing 25,000 or somewhere in there, guys, after your commissions, right? If you're in a good comp structure and after your chargebacks, guys, there's no reason why you don't walk away with 12 to 15 grand, right? From a 25,000 written, AP written after your commissions and your chargebacks. If you're not making that amount, something's off, right? You might be too aggressive in your sales. You might be pushing people to close. You might be pushing them to spend more on a policy that they really shouldn't be, right? Yeah. This is such a budget sensitive product, guys. You do not want to oversell people, because that's just going to equal more chargebacks, more cancellations. Again, something that we heavily focus on when you're in the program, guys. Okay. Will someone manage my account for me? Yes. Are you talking about your ad account? Absolutely. If you're part of one of our programs, you're going to get a credit towards ad management. That ad management is going to take you and cover your ad management for either 1 month, 2 months, or 3 months, depending on the program that you choose. And that's it, guys. I think that's it. Ashley, any last minute things that you want to leave folks with here?
Again, I just want to share with you the same message. You need to find someone with arrows in their back. You have to. If you were out there flying in and swimming in the ocean all alone with just a raft, you will not succeed. There's a reason why they say 93% of all agents fail. It's because you don't have a mentor, you don't have the accountability, you don't have the systems, you're not following someone who has proven to you that their way works. So go find someone where their way works, and then do not question what they're telling you to do it, and then find success on the other side of it.
I love it, guys. Book a call, Laverne. Laverne, what percentage do I put away from tax and commission charge? Again, that's something we can talk about once we jump on a call. We have that structure. We can tell you exactly what that is. Guys, I want to thank you so much, guys, for taking this time to spend with us. I'm extremely grateful. I know that we're all busy. We all have lives to live, families, business. So I just want to thank you again from the bottom of my heart, honestly, guys, for being here and spending this time with us today. Anything that you need, if you ever want to follow me, I'm at Scale My Social across all social media. Ashley, you can go look her up at youtube.com/ at Ashley Mullinnix, guys. It's on the screen right now. Go follow us. Anything you need, please reach out. We wish you nothing but the best out there. 2025 is your year, guys. Go get them. We will see you soon. Take care.
Bye.